Ooh, welcome to Ole Walls house. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls. I'm back with you for episode 211 this week. Gonna run solo. We got some fun stuff to talk about. NFL playoffs continuing to deliver. Teams that are not delivering that I like to root for, pretty much all of them. Heels go down, Flyers stink, so we'll get into that. We'll get into some coaching changes in the NFL. Before we get to any of all that, though, please don't forget to rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you're looking for some merch like this sweet hat I'm rocking, check that out in the link in the show notes below. You'll also find some merch for my guy MJ over at the Full Range Pod. Don't forget to check him out on the Full Range Pod at Spotify or on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel. And as always, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys. Thank you for all the support, the watches, the listens. I appreciate the hell out of all you. So thank you for that. It's just, thanks for giving me a little support in doing this. So I really appreciate that. Without any further ado, let's get into this thing. NFL playoffs time. The playoffs have been fun. The playoffs have been a lot of fun. Sorry, set this mic there for a second. Playoffs have been just a bundle of joy for the most part. I mean, this weekend there were a couple pretty fun games. We just get started on Saturday afternoon. Bills Broncos goes down to the wire, ends up in overtime. The Broncos prevail, but not without some controversy. We'll get to that. Where we have to get to first is that the Buffalo Bills should have won this game on their own merits. Throw out any catch, non-catch controversy we have. The Bills should have won this game. Turns out it's hard to win games when you turn the ball over 5 times, and they still should have been able to do it. This was not the best showing from Josh Allen. I'm a big believer in Josh Allen. I think he's one of the top 3-4 quarterbacks in the league. This was not good for him. He's going to hear a lot about this game and this playoffs this offseason. You could tell it got to him. He was, tearing up, saying he let his team down in the post-game press conference, and I get it. He didn't have his best game. He willed them back into it at points and did some of the things that he does to keep them alive, and then at the same time missed some passes at the end of the game that, despite all the other shit that happened, probably would have given them a win in some way, shape, or form. But, if you just go back, they've got the ball. They're up 7-3. They're driving, and James Cook gets absolutely rocked and fumbles early in the second quarter. Broncos go down, make it 10-7. The Broncos go on to score 17 points in the second quarter, and it's 20-10 going into the half. On the third play of the second half for Josh Allen and the Bills, Josh Allen gets strip sacked. Again, he got strip sacked in the end of the first half too, and that allowed the Broncos to get that last field goal to get up 20-10. And then, the Bills score, make it 17-3. Nix throws an interception, gives the Bills the ball at the 40. Josh Allen immediately threw an interception right back to him. You just can't do that. I think he missed Knox or Kincaid late. I still am a believer in Josh Allen. I really am. I think he's a guy that can get it done for him. I think he's working with 6 pieces of cheese and a sweet potato out there for, kind of people surrounding him other than James Cook. He's got Kincaid and Knox, but who's his receiver? But at the same time, this loss kind of falls on him. I know the refs made a bad call, but in a scenario like this, I think Josh Allen has got to get it done. And he's going to hear about it. And this game cost Sean McDermott his job. News came out this morning, Monday morning, that Sean McDermott is done in Buffalo. That's tough. The Bills have been in a spot where they've been. I saw a thing on Twitter, and I should have saved it, but I didn't. If you look, winning percentage, I believe it's winning percentage, points scored, points allowed, point differential. The Bills are at the top in the NFL over the last 5 or 6 years. Sean McDermott has done a really nice job with this team. He wasn't able to be the coach to help push him over the edge. Josh Allen hasn't been the quarterback to push him over the edge. You're not moving on from Josh Allen. Like, he's locked up contractually. You can't let a guy like that walk anyway. So there were going to be some changes made. It was going to be Sean McDermott. This is a tough one for the Buffalo Bills. My pops is a Buffalo Bills fan. I kind of root for them just because they're the tortured franchise. I mean, they make me. I know I bitch about the teams I root for, finding ways to blow games. I mean, Green Bay and Cleveland and Penn State, but like, man, then there's the Bills. I mean, I'm surprised that game went overtime, honestly. I cannot believe that field goal at the end of the game went through. I was like, oh, this is wide right, or it's going to get blocked. Something's going to go wrong. But yeah, so let's get to the catch. I just don't know what we're doing, guys. Like, here is the picture. Ball is clearly in Brandon Cooks for the Bills' hands. He is clearly down. He is clearly being touched. I know that's a still frame, and it goes quicker in real life. That's a catch. Like, the inconsistency of it, because then we go to last night's game, and we'll get to last night's game eventually, but you see Davante Adams there. A little different scenario. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're one for one, apples to apples. I think it's a little bit of apples to oranges here. But what are we doing? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. And then you go back to Packers-Bears last week in the wild card. You had a similar situation that they just called an incomplete pass. Like, what? And that one, the ball never hit the ground, and they're like, incomplete pass. So, like, and hey, let me say this too. Reffing professional sports and high-level college athletics is damn near impossible. That's kind of the fact of the matter. Like, these plays happen so fast, and if we're gonna slow everything down to show everybody replays on TV, but like, they're seeing the replays too. They gotta be better. We go through this every couple of years in the NFL where it's like, what's a catch? What's not to catch? And we're kind of like moving the goalposts all the time. And then you see situations like this with the Bills game being kind of given one rule, and then the Davante Adams catch gets kind of a different ruling. It's like, those are pretty damn similar plays. I just don't know how a receiver can have the ball. He can be on the ground. He can be touched down. And then the defender just gets to roll through with it. Like, so does it not matter that he's down? I don't know. I get now at the same time, I kind of get the other arguments. Like, hey, did he never have control? Maybe, but what's control if the ball's in your hands, your knees down, and the defender's touching you? Is that not a play over? You can kind of tell. And I'm a little biased. Don't get me wrong. I was rooting for the Bills there, but it's not like I'm totally attached to the Bills or I've got something really against the Broncos. I really don't. The Broncos are pretty indifferent to me. But like, really? That's not a cat? I don't know, man. I just don't know. Not all sunshine and rainbows for the Broncos. Obviously, there's some questions about the performance from the team. I mean, Bo Nix played a nice game. 279, 3 touchdowns, really did some good things, but you win the turnover battle 5-1 and you got to go to overtime to get a victory. That's tough. That's a little bit of a tough look. And then obviously the biggest thing is, in a freak thing that appears to have happened on the kneel down in the second to last play of the game, Bo Nix breaks his ankle and is done for the playoffs. I mean, just maybe some of the worst luck you could have. The game is done. The game's in hand. It's just coming down to your kicker making a chip shot field goal after you get a pretty soft-ass DPI, by the way. Didn't even get there. They get a soft-ass DPI that doesn't look like it should have been called and looked pretty damn similar to something that happened against the Bills when they had a guy in the end zone that Josh Allen probably still could have put a little better ball on there too. But like that, if one of those is DPI, they're both DPI, and if one of them isn't, neither of them are. Now, does that mean that the Broncos still aren't going to get it downfield a couple more? I don't remember if it was on third. No, it might have been on third down. Either way, like there's still a lot of stuff that could happen. So, like, again, I'm not saying that the Bills lost this game because of the refs. At the same time, the refs made some bad calls in this game. The Bills lost this game because they turned the ball over 5 times. 5 times. That cost them at minimum 10 points, if that I can just think of immediately. The Cook fumble, which actually probably cost them 17 because they were like well on their way to scoring. At worst, it cost them 14 points. They lost the game by 3 in overtime. That is the kind of stuff that get coaches fired. Where do they go from here? Who knows? Joe Brady was being mentioned to doing some interviews around the league. That I would guess that's probably what they're thinking. I've already seen reports that the Bills are not happy that they got let go of Sean McDermott. It's tough. It's tough though. So, and obviously just so tough for the Denver Broncos. You're going to the conference championship and you're starting Jarrett Stidham. You lose your franchise quarterback to just a freak injury. Seahawks and 49ers was an ass kicking from the word go. Shaheed took the opening kick all the way to the end zone. 7-0. They tacked on another 10 more in the first quarter before the 49ers got some field goals on the board, but it didn't matter. Kenneth Walker got one in late in the first half, and it was just more and more Seattle the rest of the way. The injuries, the team just being absolutely destroyed. Is it because of the power plant? We don't know. Have finally caught up to the San Francisco 49ers, and the Seattle Seahawks look a little bit like a wagon here, folks. A little bit like a wagon. And it's not like the Rams turned in the greatest performance you've ever seen out of them Sunday night. And the Rams are headed to Seattle. We're getting a rematch. We're going to get the rubber match there. Both teams have won a game so far this year. An absolute classic in one of them. Hopefully we get something like that again, Conference Championship Sunday, because I'm worried about what we're going to see in the AFC. As we move on to the Sunday games, we get to that AFC game. Talk about a slop fest in this game. Total turnovers in the game. 8. 5 for the Houston Texans. 3 for the New England Patriots, who are headed back to a conference title game. It's been a little while, but it doesn't feel like it's been a little while since they've been there. The Patriots get it done. Again, this was one of the sloppiest games I've ever seen, especially in the playoffs. I mean, talk about the quarterbacking. 20 of 47 for 212 for C.J. Stroud with a touchdown and 4 interceptions. I don't know that the Texans were ever seriously considering it, but there was a lot of noise in the Twitter sphere that maybe you should bench C.J. Stroud coming out in the second half. I mean, he had something like, what was it now? Was it 5? I mean, the amount of turnovers he's had in the last 2 games. So he had 4 interceptions. Did he fumble himself in this game? I don't know that he fumbled. What did he have in the wild card round? I mean, that was in the wild card round, he threw an interception and he fumbled a couple times, and this doesn't tell me. They ended up losing 2 fumbles. So, I mean, it's something like 7 or 8 turnovers in the 2 weeks of the playoffs. He's gotten his 5th-year extension coming up. I mean, again, I don't want to say, I mean, you saw people on the shows and on Twitter being like, oh, he's playing for his contract this second half. He did play better. Wasn't nearly enough, but I mean, where do you go if it's not C.J. Stroud? You go back into the draft? Do you explore Malik Willis? I just don't know what the answer is. I mean, C.J. Stroud has not been the guy he was his rookie year, but like, what's your alternative? And that's a question a lot of times when talking about some of these things is like, what is the alternative? Where do you go from here? My hair looks good. What What are you willing to give up? Like, hey, the Texans are a playoff team. Their division's okay. It's not great. It's not terrible, but like it's okay. What's the other option? Like there seems to be a way to the playoffs, but like now you're looking around, you're like, shit, the Jags may have figured something out. Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen. So it's like, hey, we're chasing the Jags, but like, hey, they won 9 games in a row at one point this year. They're in a pickle. There's always that weird pickle, like where you're pretty good in the NFL, but you're not quite good enough. And it's like, are you willing to give up pretty good to be great? And it's like, hey, good is the enemy of great. Well, it's a pickle. You're in a real tough spot. You're between a rock and a hard place. Throw out every little euphemism you want to use, but that's where the Texans feel like they are. It's exactly where they feel like they are. All right, and then we just have one final game to talk about in the divisional round. The Chicago Bears cannot quite get it done against the Los Angeles Rams, who come into a cold Soldier Field. Snow on the ground, looked like football, looked great. Just, and again, a game that was a little sloppy, cold weather, what can you do? And the Rams look like they're going to get it done. They look like they've done it. They've taken the lead late. They scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter with 8 minutes to go. Questionable spot when they ended up running it on like 3rd and 12. They were down near their own goal line. Ended up deciding to punt. I would have liked it. I'd like to see you put the ball in Stafford's hands there. But like, I don't know. I just don't know. I think you got to let Stafford throw it. I know you were dealing with 2-minute warning, timeout kind of stuff. Thinking maybe if you can get a run quick, they burn a timeout before the 2-minute warning, but that didn't seem like that was going to happen. You figure you just take it to the 2. You've got 2 minutes, the ball, and 1 timeout coming. Just, I don't know. Don't take the ball out of your quarterback's hands. I've seen that, and I've seen it not work. Go down. You got to come with what you know sometimes. You got to come with what you know. That's all it is. You just got to come with what you know. Matt Stafford's what you know. He's the guy that got you there. Ride him. Let him be the guy for you. Throw your lot in with your Pro Bowl quarterback, your All-Pro quarterback, your Hall of Fame quarterback. Go with it. Do it. Anyway, Bears get the ball back. They look dead. They look kind of dead for a minute. Then they're alive. Then they look dead. Then they're alive. Just the absolute epitome of this Bears team. Just battling. I hate these Bears. Can't stand Ben Johnson. Don't like Caleb Williams. But my God, you got to give these guys credit. They battle. They may be the luckiest team I've ever seen in my life, but they battle, and they just keep giving themselves chances. And eventually, you play the law of averages, you're going to get some of those chances, and eventually, it's going to, your luck's going to run out. And the luck did run out, but my God, just barely, because it was 4th and 4, I think, with 25, 30 seconds left on the game clock. And the Rams get through the line, and they drive Caleb Williams back to midfield. He's almost standing on the logo. He lets it go from like the 42. Running backwards, tossing it to the end zone. I believe the ball went 52 air yards. And there he is, Cole Kmet. Maybe a slight push off. I don't think it should have been called. I'm kind of happy they didn't. Slight push off, though. And the Rams defender just can't regain his balance or something. Just look, the first instinct was like he just stopped playing. There was some pushing. He never really got himself back in. I don't know if he was trying to sell it, but like, you got worked, buddy. You got worked. And there Cole Kmet is, catching it in the back of the end zone. We're headed to overtime. I am very surprised that the Bears didn't go for 2. I thought the Bears were going to go for 2 last week against the Packers a couple different times, and they didn't. I believe Ben Johnson said after the game that he was considering it, but their goal to go execution had been kind of hot garbage. Paraphrasing here, that's not exactly what he said, but that's the gist of it. So they go to overtime. the Rams go like 3 runs on the first overtime possession. Again, put the ball in Matt Stafford's hand. He's your guy. So then the Bears get the ball back. Any score wins the game at this point. And Caleb Williams from a perfect pocket, which is kind of the crazy thing. Perfect pocket, Caleb Williams, just okay, if not bad. Scrambling, running, should be dead, can't get tackled. There's nobody open. We're going to throw something crazy. Caleb Williams might be the greatest quarterback we've ever seen in the history of our lives somehow. Throws a bad pick. I've seen, a lot of it immediately was like, oh, DJ Moore. Even if DJ Moore had made the right break on that, DJ was kind of going up the seam and took a half-ass break out. I don't think he was expecting the ball. Even if he'd made the right break on that, the Rams defensive back had the outside on him. And, you never know in those scenarios, but it looked like the Rams defensive back was in pretty good position to cover the outside of that route. I think it was a bad throw. I think it was a bad route too. Don't get me wrong. It was a throw from a young quarterback who made a mistake in a big scenario. Wasn't his finest game. 3 interceptions. I think he threw 3 interceptions against the Packers, which, again, the Packers lost that game somehow. Two interceptions. He threw 5 interceptions in the playoffs. That said, I've come out of the last 6 weeks or so, and I don't know that I love the trajectory of how things are going for the Chicago Bears as a Packers fan. If I was a Bear fan, I think I'd like it. Ben Johnson's a good damn football coach. I think he's a jackass. Caleb Williams, he's Caleb Williams. I think he's a good quarterback who's going to get better. Don't love that for the Packers. This one's going to hurt for the Bears, obviously. You get yourselves into these positions, and then there's games that you kind of feel like you threw away. The opportunities are limited. Take that from a guy with Aaron Rodgers who was like, we just got to keep getting back. We're going to get one. Not true. You're just not always going to get the one or the next one. Ask the Bills. Ask Packers fans. Ask 49ers fans. They keep knocking on the door. They can't do it. So you're going to look back on these moments and be like, oh my God, we should have won that game. It's tough. That said, I think the Bears' future seems bright. We'll see, though. The Bears tend to do Bears things. So, all right, next week we got our matchups. The early game, Patriots, Broncos. I don't know. I don't even know what to think there. I would have to imagine it's the Patriots. The Broncos' defense is still good. What can they do with Jarrett Stidham? Is Drake May ready for the big show? Is Jared Stidham ready for the big show? The thing with Jared Stidham in this situation is you're playing with house money. There ain't nothing to lose. You lose this game, no one expected you to win it anyway. You lose this game as the Patriots and Drake May, you're going to hear about it. And that's in the back of their minds. So, we got to go win this game. And then we got Rams Seahawks, which I think is going to be a fun one. So I'm leaning Pat Seahawks. I think we get a Super Bowl rematch from a few years ago, and what was a fantastic Super Bowl. Tom Brady just being Tom Brady at the end of that game. The famous pass. Malcolm Butler picked off Russell Wilson at the goal line. Obviously, 2 totally different teams at this point, but I wanted to do something. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to look at the Super Bowl champs and see if Sam Darnold would win this. This would be the weirdest Super Bowl winning quarterback in a long, long time. Where is the list of Super Bowls? Here we go. List of Super Bowl champions. Let's just work our way backwards. Jalen Hurts is the winner there. Mahomes, Stafford, Brady, Mahomes, Brady. Big Dick Nick. It'd be the weirdest Super Bowl winner since Big Dick Nick. I'm going to throw that one out just a little bit because it's, the other option would be Wentz, which is not, so we're not going to throw that out. Brady, Peyton, Brady, Russell Wilson, who at the time was a top 5, top 10 quarterback, not weird. Joe Flacco is kind of a little bit of a weird one. He was pretty good. Eli, Rodgers, Breeze, Big Ben, Eli, Peyton, Big Ben, Brady, Brad Johnson. Again, another kind of odd one. Brady, Trent Dilfer. And that's back to 2001. So Big Dick Nick. So you're talking probably in the since the turn of the millennium. If Darnold's able to pull this off, I think he's played pretty damn good the last 2 seasons. He could change his kind of trajectory late, kind of like a Kurt Warner second half of his season. Obviously, Kurt Warner's first half of his career had a little bit different feel to it than Sam Darnold's first half of his career. But like you wouldn't have said if the Cardinals were able to win that Super Bowl over the Steelers that Kurt Warner had been a weird quarterback. So I think you're looking at Big Dick Nick, Flacco maybe, and then all the way back to Brad Johnson and Trent Dilfer with the Bucks and the Ravens with 2 just absolutely superior defenses. This one's a little bit more on Sam Darnold, kind of like the way Big Dick Nick was. Okay. We'll just do the college football playoff. I'm not staying up I'm staying up to watch it. I'm not staying up to do a pod afterwards. So this pod's probably actually going to drop before the game even starts. I think Indiana gets it done. 16-0, national champs. Where are we? 16-0? That's cool. I think the Fighting Signettis, who shares? Go down to Miami tonight and they get it done. We'll see. Okay, let's spin around and hit some other sports. My teams are just crumbling. The Carolina Tar Heels can't stop a bloody nose. Stanford, they go out to Stanford, who scores 95 points on them. So if you go back to their last loss with SMU, they gave up 83. They gave up 84 to Wake Forest and then lost to California on Saturday as well and gave up 84 in that one. Just got down right away to California and just never got in it. Stanford, they had gotten themselves a lead at one point and just completely gave it up. But it remains that the bigs are the dudes doing all the work. Caleb Wilson, 26-9. Henry Vassar, Vassar is probably what it is. 26-6. Like those dudes are just producing. Then against Cal, Caleb Wilson 17-5, Henry Vassar 14-10. Got a little bit more out of the guards against Cal. 14 and 3 assists from Derek Dixon, 12 and 4 assists from Seth Trimble, but they're getting almost no production off the bench. I mean, Derek Dixon, Vassar, Caleb Wilson, Seth Trimble is going to be the kind of theme you see throughout all this. I mean, they got Luka Bogavac, who gave him something, but again, you go back to the Stanford game. Wilson, Vassar, Trimble. I mean, just keep going back. That's going to be your big 3, and if those guys aren't doing it for you, who is? Again, the Wake Forest game, that was a close one. Wilson, Vassar, Trimble with 10, and then a random Jaden Young. So like they're getting some random stuff here and there, but not enough, it seems like. I don't think Hubert Davis is the right guy. Look at his history. There was kind of one run there. They came back the next year, highly touted. Did nothing with it. So I believe they fall all the way down to 22nd in the rankings. They were 14th last week. I think previously last week's pod, I said they were still 6th. That was tweaked. The Google was tweaked out. They are down to 22nd in the AP top 25. They got Notre Dame at home on Wednesday and then go to Virginia, who I believe is sneaking themselves up the rankings as well. Let me take a quick peek there. They were up as high as 16th last I noticed, up to 14th this week. So they got a test down in Virginia. So Notre Dame Wednesday, Virginia Saturday afternoon. Speaking of teams on the collapse, the Philadelphia Flyers had a big week, I said. 4 games. They were catching up in games played to some teams, seeing if they could make a move. They made a move, all right. They made a move right down the pooper. Right down the pooper. This is now for the Flyers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight losses. All 4 games this week were losses. Very uncompetitive losses. 5-1 to the Lightning on Monday. 5-2 to the Sabres on Wednesday. 6-3 to the Pens on Thursday. And 6-3 to the Rangers on Saturday. And by the way, that was like 6-2 in the third period. So, not good. Really not good. They're behind the 8 ball now. A team that was kind of hanging around playoffs, up to its best as second in the division at one point. They're now back to 5th in the division, 3 points behind the Pittsburgh Penguins. And now all that, we've played less game advantage than people. Don't worry, you can still make it up. It's not there anymore with the Penguins. They've played the same amount of games. They're now back 3 points. They are back 2 points of the Washington Capitals. Those guys are still a couple games ahead. But, the 2 teams in playoff, other 2 teams in the playoff spots in the division, the Hurricanes and the Islanders. Islanders, 1 less game, but 5-point differential. Carolina Hurricanes, 2 less games, but 12-point differential. So that one's completely out of reach. And then if you go over to the wild card, this is bad. This is really bad. The Buffalo Sabres now, with the same amount of games played, 5 points ahead. And the Boston Bruins, 6 points ahead, a couple extra games there. So, maybe. But it's crunch time now. You got to go out to Vegas. Got to go out to Vegas today. They're the best team in the West, right? Oh, no, they're not. Avalanche are. They're the best team in their division. There are a couple teams with more points than them. But so that's a tough team. Then they got the Utah Mammoth. Solid team. The Avs, who are the best team in the West and probably the best team in hockey, 33-5-8. Putting it on people. And then they come back home to the Islanders, who, again, playoff team. They've lost 5 in a row. It could get to 9 in a hurry. It could get to 9 in a hurry. Last 10, 3-6-1. Oi. 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 Not good. Not good at all. Actually, quite bad. Quite bad. Not just not good. Quite bad. They're in trouble. They brought up the rookie, I don't even know if he's Kosalov the other day. He got benched after 3 goals on Saturday that he gave up in the first 6 minutes. Didn't have a save. Had to go back to Ersson. I think Vladar is expected back tonight, or maybe. Let me double check. Negative, still on the IR. I mean, that's a killer. Vladar was kind of the linchpin to keeping this thing going, and bad. Got bad in Philly. Got bad in Philly first. I was sent a GIF, a meme, whatever you want to call it, by a friend of the program, Troy Gordon, and it said, Phillies fans going into third. Big one, big third here. We need 7. And it said Flyers fans and Eagles fans. So you always need 7 in the third. Except the Flyers need 7 goals. That's not just 1 score. That's many, many more. 7 of them to be exact. Just 1 for the Eagles. I didn't deliver that the best. That wasn't my finest moment, people. Whatever. Giddy up. Got her up. Chris got her up. Gets the first win of the year. A little Sunday 64 with a bogey. Sunday 64 with a bogey. Just the first one of the year. Chris got her up. Getting himself off to a nice start. Not a lot of guys there in the field. Good to see a nice finish from Daniel Berger. He has a Sunday 64, moves himself up to a T6. Would love to see that guy, get back and get playing. Beyond that, I mean, Jake Knapp played. Siwoo, I thought Siwoo went to live. Is that Sung Jae? Sung Jae went to live. Who went to live with Sung Jae Im? By the way, if your trade is like Sung Jae Im and whoever for Brooks Koepka, nice trade. It was Sung Jae and who? I thought it was Sung Jae and Siwoo. I gotta look this up. Sung Jae Im. No, did I just see something completely wrong? Oh, that was completely fake, apparently. Sungjae denied recent rumors in December 2025 with an Instagram post calling them fake news. Okay. I got had. Yeah, reports suggested mid-December suggested him and fellow Korean golfer Siwoo Kim might defect to Live Golf. Huh, and Siwoo was playing in this, so okay. I was had. I saw it. I just kind of passed through it and didn't notice anything. Jordan Spieth, just more. Where'd he go? I've lost him. He's just kind of deep into the middle of the pack here. Where did he go? Now I got to look him up because he's just in such an unremarkable spot. T24 falls 11 spots on Sunday with a 69, was 1 over par, made a couple birdies on 17 and 18 to get it back under to get in the house. So, yeah. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, we head to the American Express Open. I believe there's actually a couple of decent guys in the field. Let me pull the field up there because I think this one might actually be worth taking a peek at. Yeah, Scotty Scheffler, Ben Griffin, Sam Burns, Pat Cantlay, Ludwig, Russell Henley, Bob McIntyre, Harry Hall, Matt Fitzpatrick, Seb Straka, Harris English, Taylor Pendrith, Alex Noren, Kurt Kitayama, one of the Højgaard, Siwoo shaking that ass, Ricky Fowler, Jason Day, Minwoo Lee, let him cook, Adam Scott, JT Poston, Ashke, Justin Rose, Wyndham Clark, Nick Taylor, Keith Mitchell, Denny McCarthy, Daniel Berger, Will Zalatoris, Brian Harmon, my boy Hatong Lee, Sahith, Michael Kim, Max Homa, Patrick Rogers, Gary Woodland, Billy Horschel, Kuchar. That's a nice damn field. Nick Dunlap, Neil Shipley, Bud Colley. I'm getting deep here. Aldrich Potgieter, Tony Finau, Steven Yeager, Luke Clanton, S.H. Kim. I don't know who S.H. Kim is. Tom Kim. Jackson Suber. That's a young gun coming up. Bo Hostler. Like, there's some name. This is a good field. I'm going to have to watch this. Damn, that's a good field. That's a really good field. Why is this such a good field? Is it probably because a bunch of those guys were going to play, needed something to get on the schedule instead of out at Hawaii, and they'd rather do this than go out to Hawaii for 1 week? Either way, nice field. I'll be excited. I'll be watching some golf this weekend. Time for some passing thoughts. As usual, I forgot to talk about something when I probably should have. A couple things, really. Mike Tomlin will be stepping away from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Stepping away, I think, is the key verbiage to notice here. He was not fired. He was not let go. He did not retire. He was stepping away. Couple of things there to, I think, keep in mind. I believe he is still under contract to the Steelers. I believe there was still time left on that contract. I'm going to verify that now. The Steelers did not fire him, and the Steelers still have not fired a head coach in 60 years or whatever it is. Bill Cowher retired. Chuck Noll retired, I believe. The Steelers retain his coaching rights through 2026, plus a team option for 2027. So, what this means, I think what happened here is the Steelers wanted to go in a different direction. They didn't want to fire a coach because they don't do that. And they told Tomlin, why don't we do this? Why don't you just step away? Then you can pick and choose where you may or may not be interested in coming back to coach if you do. And if you do, they're going to have to give us a little something probably. So I think it was kind of a mutual stance for everybody on where they could get to. And bottom line is the guy hasn't won a playoff game in 10 years? He's only won like 3. since they won that Super Bowl. They needed to make a change. I think Mike Tomlin was treated with kind of kid gloves about how good of a football coach he was. There was a stretch there where he had maybe the best trio in football with Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown. Granted, a couple of them are psychos. You kind of got to get it going. So I think this is the right decision for Tomlin, or for the Steelers. Probably the right one for Tomlin, too. Lets him kind of save face a little bit. I think we all know what happened. But the Steelers move on. They were having discussions with Big Mike McCarthy. Big Mike McCarthy looking to go back down home to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh guy, if you've ever listened to him talk on like Pat McAfee or any other interviews, guy loves Pittsburgh. He's obviously from Pittsburgh. Be interesting to see how that goes over. What does that mean with his relationship with Rodgers if they're kind of playing around with bringing Rodgers back for one last year? You know, they don't have another quarterback. Like maybe they just try and squeeze one last year out of Rodgers, get a bridge year till if they draft somebody this year. McCarthy known to be a pretty good quarterback whisperer. If you're looking to bring in a young quarterback, did a good job with Rodgers, kind of revitalized Favre's career, did a nice job with Dak Prescott while he was there. But a lot of the same issues for Tomlin, not a great history in the playoffs beyond his Super Bowl. We'll see. But that is out there. The Green Bay Packers extend LaFleur. I almost said Mike LaFleur because that's his brother, and you've been seeing a lot of his name lately. They extend Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst. It was, I guess, more about years as opposed to money with them. I don't know if I've even seen what the contract was yet. I just seen that it's a done deal. Packers agree to extension with their near deal with Gutekunst. No, nothing yet. So the Packers will be going back with LaFleur. I think this is probably the right decision. I had my moments where I thought it was wrong. I've had my moments where I thought it would be right to move on. I don't know what the option is to replace him at the moment. There's nobody out there that I'm like, yep, go get him. So I think I'm okay with this. The pressure's on, though. If this team comes back and can be healthy next year, you've heard me say all the names before: Devontae Wyatt, Tucker Kraft, Micah Parsons, Reed, Watson, all the Jordan Love. If those guys can all be healthy, that's a nice little nucleus. You got to do something. It's looking like they're going to lose Jeff Hafley. You're going to have to replace a defensive coordinator. Some talk of Jim Leonard who's out with the Denver Broncos, who was the defensive coordinator for Wisconsin Badgers, and they circled him last time. He thought he was going to be Wisconsin a little more long-term, and it turns out that didn't work out. You're going to have to, you got to do something offensively. Maybe you need a new coordinator in there. Maybe you need a coordinator to call plays. I don't think that's happened. I don't think LaFleur's given up play calling. He needs to get more aggressive with it, though. So, we'll see. Also saw that the Dodgers payroll now, they will pay $165 million in luxury tax alone. That will be more than 12 teams in the MLB's entire payroll. Ohtani and Kyle Tucker alone are going to be more than 8 teams' payroll. Probably my Cleveland Guardians as one of them. More than 8 teams. Goodness gracious. Here's a college football. Just a little nugget I saw. It's been 1,161 days since Oregon has lost to a team that did not play in the national championship. The last time they lost to a team that did not play in the national championship was November 26th of 2022. It's been longer than 1,161 days at this point from when I took a picture of this. November 6th of 2022. November 26th of 2022. That is so long ago, guys. I don't even know if I'd started the pod yet. I really don't remember if I had started the pod at that point. Gosh, I can't type. It's now up to 1,150 days. 1,150. When did I start the pod? I don't know if the pod had started. Let me double check. We're going to check this because the Oregon Ducks may not have lost a game to someone not in. Oh, no, I started in January of 2022. I couldn't remember if I started in January 22 or January 23. Damn. I started in January 22. We're at the first full episode came out on the 17th. We're at 4 years. We're over 4 years. Pretty crazy. 4 years of Ole Walls house has been going on right now. I don't even know it. We have crossed the 4-year mark. We've crossed the 4-year mark. I was at a UW hockey game. They got killed, by the way. Wisconsin, UW being Wisconsin. But they played Welcome to the Jungle over like the loudspeakers in the arena. It was sick. Like Welcome to the Jungle smacks. It's so great. Like just a Welcome to the jungle. What a great goddamn song. And then like in an arena over the loudspeakers, it's just, if they got it cranked up, it's just, it gets you going. Makes you want to get out there. Hit somebody with one of those sticks. The problem is I can't skate for shit. Was damn near skating around the town of Madison, the city of Madison. First of all, what a whole night that was. It's getting cold. There's snow coming in. We can't find a place to park. There's like a Hamilton's in Madison that same night. There's also like some benefit concert going on. All the parking garages are full. We're driving around in circles for hours. It feels like it's like 35 minutes because all the streets up there are one way. So you got to do a big square. You can't just turn. Finally get it. And then I've got this thing going on in my foot, which turns out to be, I gotta have the Google pronounce this. Sesamoiditis, which is there is a sesamoid bone in the bottom of your foot, right on the ball of your foot, essentially. So sesamoiditis is the inflammation of two small pea-sized sesamoid bones and their surrounding tendons under the big toe joint, usually caused by overuse from activities like running or dancing, leading to pain, tenderness, difficulty moving the big toe. Definitely got that. It did not feel good. It felt so bad. I went to the urgent care on Sunday and they gave me some steroids. It's helped. I can walk a little bit. I'm keeping it low, but god damn, that hurt. I was trying to walk around Madison. Every step I took was painful. Probably didn't help my whole diagnosis. But yeah, we're hopefully on the mend. Hopefully. I have high arches. High arches are bad for this. Any pressure on the ball of your foot. Been running on the treadmill. Been doing some weighted carry on the treadmill too. It's painful. It's painful, folks. Sesamoiditis. That said, I'm not going outside or going anywhere because it is cold as shit out here for the foreseeable future. The current temperature at my home is 2 degrees that feels like -12. That's about as good as it gets. It's that's as good as it gets today. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. will be -4, feels like -12. Wednesday, hey, we get some relief Wednesday. Yeah, Tuesday afternoon it gets back up, but then if you look out the long-term forecast, Thursday, we're dipping down to -11 Thursday night. Friday is a high of -9, a low of -17. Saturday is a high of -6. Just fan-freaking-tastic. Fantastic. All right, let me just check my pictures, see if there's anything I wanted to miss. I wasn't talking about. This chicken wing thing. I talked about this. Talking about chicken wings. During COVID, wing prices skyrocketed. A 40-pound case went for around $80 to $240. So places has to rise their wing prices. So wings went from like $8 a dozen to like $18. Started off in $10. And then they get them bigger. We talked about it. Bigger wings, not as good. Got to get the right meat to skin ratio. That guy did say that wings can't be a meal. They should be an appetizer. That's wrong. Wings can always be a meal. Chicky wings are fantastic. Got some chicken from Lane's Chicken yesterday. Lane's sauce. Oh, chef's kiss. Do like me some Lane's chicken. It's delicious. Okay, let's go wrap this thing up. What do you say? Closing time, everybody. Just want to say thank you to everybody. I appreciate the support, so thank you. Thank you to producer Kevy for helping us out, get this video thing rolling. Don't forget to check out the merch shop. Get yourself a cool one of these hats. And also, these are nice hats. I don't wear crappy hats. If I'm wearing it, it's a good hat. I don't wear junk. I'm not just wearing junk to put my logo on it. Ole Walls House merch is top notch. Get it in the link in the show notes below. You can also find some merch from my guy MJ over at the Full Range Pod on Spotify and on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel. Back next week, I'll have reactions to the College Football National Championship, Conference Football Championship Sunday, which I do love Divisional Weekend. I think Divisional Weekend's probably still my favorite. Conference Championship Weekend is pretty sick, too. It's just only on Sunday. Golf. I will be paying attention to the golf this weekend. That's a hell of a field. My heels, my Flyers stink. How long till pitchers and catchers report? Go Cleveland! I have a Cleveland shirt on. So, all right. Till then, peace!